Seems like our prelim started, so we're gonna be tightening now. I'm playing 3 Scapeshift, 1 GSZ because there is more blue now, and 4 Scapeshift feels a little bit rough. On the draw, Saga is a bit slow. It's turn 5 when it pops fully. No, it's turn 4 when they pop fully. What am I talking about? Alright, turn 4 is good. Probably could mulligan on the draw, but not knowing the matchup, I don't want to bother mulliganing because then you don't know what to put back. Lotus Bloom entered the exile zone. Oh yeah, but that's good. I wanted to play against BELCHER with my sideboard cards now. I mean, I guess the issue of this hand is that I get to turn 4 and I still haven't won with what I have in hand, even against a bot. Why not play Bounce Lantern 1 to get it back to hand? Good question. One has Flare or Wear. Seems like I lose. I think I should bounce the Saga because there is no next turn. Does that sound logic? Explore into Boseiju, yeah. I think my hand was pretty bad actually. Because the 2 Saga mono bounce lands, that doesn't play out well. I play Tameshi. Tameshi is overpowered, chat. It is so strong. When you only started playing MTGO, remember drafting Lotus Field, cause you thought you can play a turn 1 without needing to sacrifice anything. That's crazy. Turns out, you do need to sacrifice something. Are we casting Belcher or Seagate Restoration? Turn 1 Lotus Field, just play turn 1, no need to sacrifice anything, would be probably a pretty common line. Thunder Trap Trainer, okay. Did I change something in the Titan list? I did change it a bit, yes. I have cut the Cyborg Bog, I guess, mostly. Alright, I guess they don't belch. Which means they don't really have much mana. That's pretty interesting. Does Seagate Restoration say that you don't have a hand size for the rest of the game? Yes. So probably most of my stuff will be countered from now on, but we're playing Otawara. No nie, to jest OP. Odds of that trigger being remembered in paper? I think slim. Have I ever killed a gov? No? How worked the changeling business? As expected. Bouncing the Lotus Bloom isn't good. No, it is. I think I want to do it. That's what I'm thinking about. I also want to make a construct. I will join Tameshi once again for my stupid Gruul Turf. Just funny. How about bouncing Tameshi instead? Sounds worse. Sounds way worse. I guess they just wait for another one. Mill them out by bouncing every turn. Bro, villain has 40 cards in the deck. I don't know if you know how many 40 is. Do they have 9 mana next turn? Do I count it right? Lethal with Scape, no to jest kurwa niezły ziomuś na czacie. Simply lethal with Scape. Easy. Opponent taps, they have 3 mana. Land, so they have 4 mana. Spend down to 3 to return Lotus Bloom. They have 6 mana, play land. 7 mana. It seems like I die to Belcher guaranteed, so I should cast Scapeshift, yes. Maybe they have a non-flare counter. 14 cards in hand, indeed, true. Tameshi Reality Architect just sticking on the battlefield, brutal. Dobra, skontrowałeś i co? Dumny jesteś z siebie? Devbo, thank you very much for the sub. Oh, look, a goblin Charbelcher. Yep. This looks like a Belcher deck. No mountain version. Game 1, every version is no mountain version. But no dismember, yes, dismember, yes, yes. Do they play Hamburger of the Tides? Yes. Nearly universally, they'll have 2 or 3 hamburgers in their deck. Wake up, start stream, lose to Belcher, repeat. Well, I lost game 1, but I will win the 2 possible games with my cyber plan now. So good, actually, right? And a lot of it would fall under Bantok. Ball to you, I don't know what agenda you're trying to push, but it's a great question. The good thing about so much Belcher is that we can try a new cyber strat every day. Yeah. It is good that I hallucinated a strat and then I just get to try it out. When moves to 5. Draw Amulet perhaps, I would rather keep the bounce on in hand, but if I explore next turn again, that's a turn 4. 2 Boseijus. I play Harbinger. No nie, did not play Harbinger. Devastating. I just get flared for 3 mana, that sucks so badly. Sex is good. Didn't get the mountain. Alright, we beat a Mul to 5. Congrats to myself for beating a Mul to 5. I should carry an extra Saga. This I mulligan. Maybe they just play no mountain version. This hand sucks, I guess. I'll keep it though. They either drew the mountain or they just don't play it. Don't know what to set the cavern on. 2 Lotus Fields. Well, giant, I guess. Okay. Min or misstep, o kurka. Ale spell. Boseiju, one of the Lotus Blooms. More Titans. Not really what I want. Collector Ouphe would be solid. I could just wait for another Lotus here. Then have 7 mana BELCHER. That is such a strong interaction. Alright, when I said we will win both post-sport games, I was lying. This villain doesn't have a basic. So they didn't even risk not winning. So I guess game 1. 5. 4. Turn 3 win. If I draw a Titan. Or Zenith. If villain is on Eldrazi, indeed, they shouldn't be able to do much. Kaneki, bless my Amulet of deck. I will play my first game in an RCQ tomorrow. I wish you best of luck. Then they play energy, which is fine as well. Aftermath Analysis. Not the best payoff to draw, but could be worse. Hopefully I dodge Throbbing Charm, because if I don't, if my opponent Throbbing Charms my Saga, then I die. But do they even play Throbbing Charm now? That they banned Breach? Throbbing Charm doesn't kill Breach, doesn't exile graveyards relevantly anymore. It's probably Not even present in the energy list. I should take a look at that, right? Because maybe I keep thinking about getting Trap and Charm, but it's actually not even an issue. Let's look at Modern Challenge. Rastaf. 1 Trap and Charm, okay. Nahuel 10. No Charm, 1 March. Even worse. Are we cooked? I don't think so. I think my opponent might be cooked if I'm lucky enough next turn. Def underscore lighter. Dawaj Adżaniego jakiegoś czy innego gówno. Bez tekstu. No nie, Boombas, Destroy Land. Co za typ? Kill land. For 2 mana. This is hostile. I get to copy the amulet, maybe we can get there. Oh, Blackstones. 1 turn too late for your Boombast. Turn too deep thinking already? Sometimes the early decisions are the hardest, right? On the early turns of the game you have the most cards in your hand, so you often, if they're cheap, you can actually perform the most different actions. So if we think about it, it's not really all that surprising that my opponent would think hard on turn 2. Kind of makes sense. I'll copy Amulet so that next turn I can have 6 mana again. I play Bounce Land, Spelunking, Bounce Land. That is 9 mana total. I spent 3 on Spelunking, so I have 6. If I get Giga Lucky with Analyst, I can win with Analyst alone, but more likely I will just have to top the Gate Titan. Maybe Scapeshift even works. A Johnny, okay. Nakadl Parchaty. Zaśmierdły. So next turn I die. Almost assuredly, there's no way around that. They get to attack with the Cat token, Guide of Souls. Because they can't really block anything, so they should just attack with everything, make the guides flying. Or not, if you don't want to. If you really wouldn't want me to block the Ocelot Pride, I guess that's 1 more damage. If I block the Ocelot Pride, that's a 1-1 Ajani flips, but you lose out on an Ocelot ability. So that's fair, that's a reasonable attack for them. I do die next turn. There's no way around that. Because they make so many tokens that it's absolutely crazy. 44 life. Okay, Grażyna, Grażyna. Grażyna. Kto cię... Scapeshift is an out. Good, good. I think their deck is pretty fair compared to what I'm about to do to them. Might take a while to create enough power to punch through my opponent's defenses, but Analyst, I can go to Yemen, get on the plane. Magda, do you want to see the Magda list? You have 2 card types in a graveyard. Do I need to be sacrificing my Urza Saga? I do. I thought we were gonna take the second Lotus. I have 2 amulets. I don't need the second Lotus. You kill them, wow. Yes, yes. We had the Analyst in hand, so the Scapeshift needed just 2 lands. Like, it was deterministic from the start. I have Pact in my graveyard, so I don't need to be sacrificing the Sagas anymore. Good thing by now Analyst would learn he can actually go to Yemen if gets on the plane. True. Well, the Analyst says he can't go to Yemen, but like knows he can. So it's more like a can't, but not not really. Not literally. How does this win this turn in the end? I make infinite Mr. Beasts. By infinite I mean probably 3 or 4 and attack my opponent with those. Which, because my opponent has 44 tough life points plus a dozen or so toughness, it's gonna be a bit slower than maybe it would have been usually. How does this lose this turn? Flare of Fortitude. Well, then you could technically bounce everything your opponent controls, but not on Magic Online. So on Magic Online, Flare of Fortitude is a viable technology card. We are 1 PT coverage where the viewers have to watch people execute these combos away from Amulet getting banned. You know that, right? 30-minute timeout. Executing these combos in paper is pretty fast anyway, so that argument never got to me. Although it still could take a little bit of a while. You know that, right? But the cost-intensive, time-intensive part of this combo is always just clicking through the loop, which you're performing 2 or 3 times. Like, not even too many times, right? Multo 4, by the way. Fair. It is good if a Multo 4 can win sometimes. Would be pretty horrible if a Multo 4 never wins. Why bother mulling then, right? Okay. Have to be careful because I am at 13 minutes and it is only game 1, so it's a bit annoying. At least 60 power. Indeed. Have you actually counted or are you guessing? Seems good enough. We have 80 power, so 89 power, which seems good enough. I'll board out Sagas, Cavern, Zenith. Which means I put out 6 cards. I add 2 forests, 2 vengeances only, and 2 sexes to fill out my deck. Could also fill out with 2 stock ups. Would I recommend using a stock up list? Not sure. Not really. Not necessarily. No, I guess I wouldn't. After experiencing stock up. It's the best against a deck like Orzhov, but it's also a good matchup anyways. The improvement from stock up seems pretty minimal, honestly. This hand would be great if I draw a forest in my first draw step, but I think I should mulligan. I'll keep enjoy regular lantern one, if not I scoop and I'll just play the game on the play. Sadly, stock up isn't demonic tutor as was advertised. It's more like a diabolic tutor than demonic. What were you saying, Common? Didn't quite catch it. No, like bounce lands are like 2 lands, so this is a 5-lander. I mean, the key was probably bad. Seems good enough to skip. You play stock up most of the time, you see 3 lands and 2 spells, and then it's what? A divination, but you draw 2 spells, right? They should make white border bounce lands for the east, true. Bro, opponent is absolutely silly. Keeping a 1-lander. Why would I do that? I think I keep the Grazer in hand if I want to discard it with a blood token. Because my opponent could hit their second land, drop and play a boom bust on my bounce land right now. And then playing out the Grazer seems a bit bad. Maybe it's fine still. But Grazer is my best candidate to discard. More Ocelot Brides? Holy shit, opponent was hoping to just make so many cuts. I guess they will make some cuts. Make some fucking cut noise. Wait, 2 Hanweir Battlements? Double haste? Not how it works. When do I silence stock up? In the grindy matchups. Question is which ones are grindy, and I don't really know. I think you shouldn't play stock up. I kinda like the idea of stock up against BELCHER, against frog, but it's not that big of a deal. I guess Orzhov, but against Orzhov it doesn't really matter if you sideboard it or not, because your deck is excellent and can barely lose anyway, so... Does Veil of Summer do roughly the same thing? Not at all, no. Is there a land with second attack phase? Not that I'm familiar with. Can you beat Amp Raptor into Blood Moon? I'm glad I don't need to. Second attack phase land would be sick. Opponent is trying. Dawaj szybko, no proszę. As you wish, Olsen. This hand sucks a bit, but it does kill a land on turn 2 and then Spelunks into... Well, Spelunks if I draw a land that makes green in the first 2 turns. Because I'm on the play, I can't play my Vesuva. Pizza Vesuvio. He opens with a Lotus Bloom, then there is no hope and I can't do anything. Tameshi will destroy me in 3 turns from now. Let's actually just play Spelunka on 2. I drew Forest, so I could have Boseiju'd. No i to jest kurwa taki dramat dostać Jwari Disruption w tym spociku. To jest brak słów w ogóle. Kurwa. Niedobrze. Wheel of Invention, so I can't stop him. I can go to Yemen. Yes. I think I should save the Boseiju if he has to wait for a Belcher. Killing a land then just means I die in the next turn. I know he has Weir, so killing Lotus Bloom does nothing. It's actually horrible. Is Jwari Disruption a 4 of land in every Belcher list? Because it should be, but it feels like I get Jwari Disrupted strangely rarely. 3.7 in 100% of decks. Crazy. No i chuj, Tameshi to mnie kurwa rozkłada na upadki w tym spocie. Jebany ziomuś. Oj, Srameshi. O kurwa, złe jabłko po polsku. Can't you procedure one of the lands in response to Tameshi's ability? It's a cost. I can't. At least that's my understanding. Yeah, it's a cost to return the land, so... You destroy the other land. And what happens? Okay. Commandeer or Kurna. Seems like killing a land wouldn't have mattered, given that my opponent is left with a land. This game would have went well, sort of, had I turned to Boseiju and then drew the forest, but it's so hard to bank on drawing a forest. Don't I ever get tired of playing a super complicated deck well and losing in cringe situations? Never. How grindy is this matchup on the grindiness scale? It's actually very grindy. It's giga grindy max. Post port. I think the 4 forest will probably leave my deck. It's a bit too many. I end up with too many lands, too many cards post port anyways. And I don't know about the Cavern of Souls because after playing with it for like what 3 or 4 challenges, it has never been useful, not a single time. Ruchali mnie w piwnicy, no nieźle. This hand should win. I think if they don't return on top land immediately with the first Tameshi activation, they are left with 9 mana, which is not enough for Wirefall's Belcher plus activation. You might be right, but I also... The Tameshi stays on the battlefield and I can't win. Maybe my opponent had mono tapped lands and then you're right. And actually it makes a difference, but... I think it was no difference. On Stern Scalding, awesome. Oj, szósteczka. Draws Lotus, Suspense, into Bauble plus Ouphe. Just funny, but reasonable. A 2-3 monster, that is too much, man. Do I need the Urza Scape? I can copy it with Deeps if I need to. O Jezu, ten mi dobiera, kurwa, jak to jest pojebane. What does Żabu 6 mean in Polish? Honestly, both not much, and I don't really know. The only... Well, sex is a real word and it means sex. Bżobu, I don't know, it's some gibberish. I don't know if it has any particular meaning. Are we not copying Saga out of Fear of Harbinger? No, I copied the Saga to draw a card this time, but I will copy the Saga now. Seems good this game. I guess I will just play Zeniths in the sideboard still, as they just mesh well with Sex and Ouphe against Belcher, and they're fine against Frog. Would be good for me to draw a Dismember. Unfortunately, I can't mill over a Dismember with 6. If you could mill over removal with 6, like that's an actual removal. That would be actually big against Tameshi. Unfortunately, you can't, but... Oh, Boseiju isn't bad. Build away Dismember, but... So if I play Chamber, just gets to draw, which seems not good to me right now. I think I'll just make a construct. Try to end this game with robots. We're X1, portable hall, sure. Exiles and Ouphe. I just instantly Boseiju it? No, because he can return it with the Meshi. Which is kinda sick. Bounce my Vexing Bauble. Sure. Oh, pierdolę. Belcher, Srelcher, kurwa. Only as a sorcerer. I'll make a construct. Stressful because I could still lose here in this spot, which milling over the dismembers doesn't quite help. Two Boseijus should be fine. Kill next turn. It's gonna draw another card. If I draw a Pact, it's gonna be kind of funny, but it is what it is. Pass. I have not to die. I think I'm good. Two mana to return the portable hall, so you can't quite do it. Can cycle bubble, but I have lethal. What do you do after ban? Bro, like, look at what we're playing. Maybe that's going to clarify some of your questions. It's crazy how powerful Tameshi is against the Titan deck, though. Yeah, analyst. He's an analyst and he doesn't want to be sacrificed, which means go to Yemen indeed. That's it. Using same word equals incredible meme. Yes, but unironically. Energylandia. Ale gówno. Guess. I don't know. Should I just play Saga turn 1 because There's less time for Harbinger and it gets in before Lotus Bloom, probably. I think I should have done that. But constructs also seem quite solid to me. And I'm kind of left with nothing if I get a Vexing Bauble. Also, I'm not getting there in time, so it doesn't matter. I think Saga is actually really good in those plants against Belcher, even if they have the Harbingers. Kind of need it. How has Cavern been? Absolutely useless. Not a single time have I cast a monster into a counterspell with it yet. Disrupting Shoal? Interesting. That is not kind, but... Villain missed land number 2, yes. Hi, Grimn. Yes, Mill Mountain, awesome. Can land distract with this Boseiju, that's awesome. Chooses Word of Intervention, misses land drop. Sulfuric Springs, pierdolniemy. Maybe he has 2 mountains, but hopefully not. No 2 mountains, good. You hacking love winning because of an extremely favorable random event occurring? I don't know. Do I want to play the Vesuva? I might not. Well, we're far from winning, frankly. Yes, by Vesuva forest, it's a forest. Alright. I need a bounce land. Maybe I should copy Jewelry Ruins because I have those stupid stock ups in my deck, which I can't use. Kurva dupa. Why is it black border now? It's just how it is. Vesuva's border is black, so it doesn't copy the border. That's how they decided it works. The Mill Mountain was pretty good, but then drew kinda badly. He reveals Suppression Ray. This matchup is definitely quite as interesting. Yeah. Interesting, sure, but it's not gonna be interesting if I lose. X3 because of Disrupting Shoal. Four Belchers in hand, there's one Belcher here. I think it is Collector Ouphe, maybe it is Sex. Frankly. I think not. I think it's Ouphe and get lucky. Sex is weak to all the Ouphe is weak to, and even more so. The O3 walls are Incredibly tough. 6th place around Portable Hall, sure. That's fine. Well, I say fine, but it is actually kinda not all that fine. Six would just lose here. If he doesn't have more counters, you can draw a land and maybe win. Well, win is, I guess, saying a lot, but... It consigned, and I guess I die. Ay, ay, ay. Now with 5 lands, that is 15 mana, and the Belcher costs 8. So it's a bit less than 15 because you have to spend a land on the Belcher, but we can make a new change to the beating Belcher variant. Cut forest, cut the stock ups. Mystical Dispute, and how do I cast it with my mana base? I'm glad I milled the mountain because now I don't have to worry about being unlucky with my Belcher shot, smiley face. No wiadomka. Devourer of Destiny, okay. Devourer, I barely knew her. Free win. You just summoned a turn 2 kicked Mycospawn, hitting my Urza Saga. So, please don't do that again. Chippy chippy chapa chapa, no, that's what they're saying. Chippy chippy chapa chapa. Citron build. How many basics does it run, possibly? 3, 4. A Tron build? No way. Why Vengeance and Pyroclasm? I currently only have 2 Vengeance in my sideboard. But if I played Pyroclasm, it was to have more copies of... Like, if we draw multiples, it's better to draw a cheap one on top of the more expensive one. If you draw 2, you would prefer for one to be cheaper. Swamp. Chad, it's an Eldrazi Tron deck. They do play a Swamp because their only colored card is probably a Cyborg Dismember. You've seen the Devourer cards, yet you are so surprised, right? Next turn I go Crumbling Vestige, then I have 2 lands, 4 mana, Scapeshift, which lets me get Lotus Field and Urza's Cave. My bad, they play like 1 Swamp and 1 Waste. I would guess they don't play Waste, but honestly I don't know, I'm guessing. But Waste seems a little bit useless to play, given that you can search for it through Boseiju. One has 2 mana up if I Scapeshift, and the issue is that I don't have Delirium. Seems still good because I get Saga and Boseiju at the very worst. Also, welcome raiders from Charlie Stage 1. GSZ winning games over here. Kinda, yeah. Would need to wait with 2 Scapeshifts. Again, deeps for cave, and now I can grab a second Lotus Field to have a large amount of mana. If I hit Delirium, I will just win. If I don't hit Delirium, I will just be in an advantageous position. What if I get Titan? Well, my Lotus Fields and Deeps are in my graveyard already, so no. Oh, I have Delirium. Urza Saga Scapeshift creature, yeah. Is good then. Behind blue eyes. Whoa. What a stack. This is more deterministic. Wasn't Titan bounce Titan deterministic? Titan bounce Titan. How? Titan bounce Titan? No, I think this was deterministic because I could, even if I don't hit Delirium with the Analyst, I go Urza's Cave, which I didn't need to hit, I already had it. But even if I don't have Delirium for some reason, I can get the lens back and get Urza's Cave and Deeps as Urza's Cave and fetch Bounce Land Tolaria West to get Mr. Beast, which from that point it's gonna be deterministic enough. Rip. Lost some mana. Bounce Titan of the Shift. I still don't understand. Yeah, well, so that was also deterministically lethal, I guess. Yeah. Which sounds fine. Common, I have never used that. Holy shit, I have no woodland now. But I'll draw some source to get woodland, my Mr. Beast. So my answer is I don't know. I expected my opponent to scoop by now, but they didn't. Can get all 4 amulets into play. Guess I drew no way to get woodland, so that's a bit awkward. I mean, they didn't scoop when you floated 32 mana on turn 4 with also 2 Boseiju. No, only 1 Boseiju. The other one legend ruled itself to the graveyard. Please, pay attention. I crack map. Dobra. But I shouldn't have got any bounce land with the Urza's Cave. That was actually quite bad. A little bit of a careless mistake, so now I need to get lucky with my Explorer draws, or I guess I don't kill my opponent. True Titan. There are so many amulets in play. I don't really want to spend time on looping right now, which also don't need to. I can just get Boseiju, Gruul Turf. Just get it back, attack them for a bunch, and they have no mana, so seems to work as well. You live, opponent. You die, opponent. Could make second Titan and win. That's what I said. I don't want to spend time clicking anymore because I think that's actually worse for me. Why no Magda in the Prelim? That's a great question. It's because Magda is a bit bad. I think we don't currently sideboard against a Tron deck. Tempting. Time to kill. I draw a land. And against Eldrazi Tron, like a turn 4 kill might be good enough still. Maybe my opponent will surprise me with something. Have I not missed map? I had a few matches lately where I did. For the most part, I don't, though. Map, Labyrinth, Mindstone. Chalice on 1 would be crashing. This Raptor Float. Holy shit. Will my opponent have the soul read of naming Amulet of Vigor? Would be kinda crazy. Kurwa nazwa, Amulet of Vigor, nie? Co za typ. No i dobrałem kolejny. Wow. Cost free more. You would also like never cut map post-board. I used to be like you until a few weeks ago, and then chatters kept pestering me, asking me if I should cut map from the deck. So I cut it to try. And I honestly haven't missed it. And I've been happy with the decision not to play it for the most part. Well, I'm telling you that I played without the map for weeks and I haven't missed it, right? So irrelevant of what chat says at this point. 4 many. I guess Lotus Field can be liquid metal coated. Ale wkurwił mnie tym Disruptor Flutem, więc poddaję. Well played, opponent. Am I supposed to keep this? Yeah, I think so. I think you do draw a map more often than it's useful, and it is pretty bad to draw. It's always pretty hard to tell in those spots because the tutor target is good whenever you tutor for it. So it's good when you have not drawn it. And it's only bad when you have drawn it, right? But Charles on 0. Previous Urza's tower? No way. I'll hit the mine because no reason not to. Mine was on the battlefield first, which gives us a little bit of no real info, I guess, but some surreal info. Ugin pitched to Labyrinth. What not here, bro? What is that? They played mind games because they have 2 mines. Could be, but can pretend I chose randomly. Probably pass with Otawara. Let them commit it to Otawara. Oh, my flute has been disrupted, chat. They've seen the Otawara with Thought here, so I mean, you could argue whether it was a sniping move or not. I think they have a pretty good defense for not actually being a sniping move. Didn't get to enough mana to Aftermath Analyze. O, ja pierdolę. No nie, kolejny. That is not the best. My opponent needs to take my Summoner's Pact because if they leave me with the remaining cards in my hand, then I think I have an almost guaranteed victory with basically any draw. Realistically, that is. Yet they made a different choice because that was actually the correct one. Mycosynth, more like Myco Blank. Carnold, sure. Yet another flute will be disrupted. Wizard is a stained glass card, great content creator. Second Charles on 0. Hopefully. We have plenty of outs. That's good. Too bad that the analyst is gone. Requires me to do some wonky stuff, but Okay, so Boseiju and Grove Chamber for sure. Then it's either 2 more Grove Chambers or a Grove Chamber Mirrorpool. I think it's Grove Chamber Mirrorpool. I'll bounce back Simic Grove Chamber and Boseiju. I'll Boseiju the Chalice on 0. Then I will Pact for Cultivator Colossus. Was Titan perhaps guaranteed win here? Probably not. I need to draw a Titan, and then it's gonna be all good. It's all good, yes. 2 Grazers. That's fine. So we should be victorious now. My opponent's cheesy strategy did not work out. I guess that's how I feel when I play against BELCHER, but in the reverse. So maybe I could say that I understand their pain, but not really. Oops. Haste, haste. Use Grazers to replay the Battlements to haste more monsters. If I attack with Titan and 2 beasts, then that's probably good enough, right? So we have managed not to get cheesed out by my opponent's cheesy stratagem. Which means that we win 2 matches and then we played against BELCHER twice. But just a few more sideboard slots and the BELCHER matchup is gonna be solved, Chad, I promise to you.